Here at Motorboat and Yachting, we've been making a lot of fuss about the latest generation of open British sports cruisers. But over in Italy, they've been building boats like this for years. We all know about the famous Riva brand, but on the shores of Lake Como, there's another, even more exclusive boatyard. Comitti have been building open sports boats since 1956, and to this day, they still build a handful of old-school classic wooden sports boats. But they also do a newer, more modern, timeless range. This is the Comitti Breva 35. And for the first time, there is now a UK dealer, and we have got the exclusive opportunity to go and sea trial the boat. Let's go and take a closer look. The Breva range are all GRP construction, and they come with a wide range of twin diesel and petrol engines from 250 horsepower up to about 450 horsepower. Prices start at 300,000 and again range up to about 400,000 with a wide range of options. So let's jump on board and take a closer look to see what you get for your money. The Breva follows the traditional open sports boat layout. So there's a large sun pad at the back over the engines, an extended bathing platform, and then a very sociable wrap of seating all around the cockpit. There's a nice bottle and cup holder here, a little fridge underneath, and a chaise longue leading up to this very classic style windscreen. Beautiful helm position, twin bench seat, you can just about squeeze two on there, and a lovely carbon fibre effect dashboard, traditional 3-spoke wheel, again with that carbon fibre rim. Now this particular boat is fitted with the twin Mercury 270 horsepower diesels. Got the Mercruiser throttles here, and with the stern drives this has got linked up to the joystick control, so you've got that one-touch berthing operation. And this particular boat is also fitted with a rather flash extra feature, which if I just hold this button here, and magically at the aft end of the cockpit lifts up, and then a bimini shade emerges all on its own, creating a lovely bit of shade. So on those roasting hot summer days, you can all enjoy a lovely bit of cooling shade. How neat is that? A one-touch operation, all done electrically. Practicality is not a top priority on a boat like this, but there are some useful touches. There's storage under all these seats for fenders and lines. There's a big storage locker under the deck here, and you can specify it with a table that comes out from this aft seat and create a nice little dinette. Now the other obvious thing that is not quite so easy on a boat like this is getting to the foredeck. There are some pretty small side decks, they're quite narrow, and there is a rail which you can grip onto, but it's not the easiest path up to the foredeck. But once you get here, it is a beautiful foredeck. Clearly there are no guardrails, so it's not the most secure feeling, but you do get a chance to admire the beautiful teak decking here, the lovely paintwork, and right at the front here we have got a couple of extra cleats, and again they're beautiful customized cleats with Comitti brand name on them, and a small anchor locker with a through hull anchor. There are no actual fair leads as such, just got these stainless steel rubbing strakes that prevent the rope chafing on that beautiful paintwork. So not necessarily the most practical of boats, but certainly one of the most beautiful. These are a rather nice little touch. Because you haven't got any rails to hang the fenders off, you need a different solution, and in this case they've got a perfect little pop-in button that ties onto the fender itself, leaves a perfectly smooth side deck, but then as soon as you want to attach them, just push them in, job done. There's also a decent amount of cabin space down below. Come and take a look. One of the nice things about the cabin down here is there's a full-length skylight running along the deck here, which lets plenty of natural light in. You've also got this very nice recessed LED lighting all around here. Most of these boats are laid out with a V-berth and a dinette table so that it can be made up into a double. In this particular boat, the owner has requested this rather beautiful oval-shaped table with an inlaid Fabergé egg. That's one of the beauties of yards like this, is you can very much customise the interior and elements of the boat to suit your particular needs. There's some very lovely oak woodwork around here, little lockers all around it, and then a heads compartment in here, again using this lovely light oak, and enough space for a little shower on this side and a very nicely concealed heads under the cabinetry. And then under the cockpit itself there is another double berth. Now, I'm not trying to kid anyone here, there's not a huge amount of space underneath the cockpit. It's a low slung sports boat, but there is in fact a double berth under here, and once you tuck yourself in, it's cosy enough, it's a decent sized mattress, and you can get a night's sleep. But like I said, accommodation is not this boat's priority. It's all about performance and style on the water. So let's go and see how it actually drives. There's something really very magical about driving such a beautiful Italian boat in the quintessentially British surroundings of the Beaulieu River. They just seem to fit together so well. Those beautifully smooth Mercruiser V6 diesel engines humming away in the background, the trickle of water past the hull, the sunlight reflecting off the stainless steel windscreen frame. It's just a beautiful setting and a beautiful boat that work beautifully together. Now, one of the joys of these Mercruiser stern drives is that they can hook up to this joystick and you can drive on the joystick alone. So I can push further forward and it gradually picks up speed. I can turn the bow by twisting the joystick one way and the other. And of course, when the time comes to berth, I can just go sideways and the whole boat will gradually move sideways. It just simplifies the whole art of berthing. Well, I've been having quite a play out here. There's a fair old chop in the Solent, there are white horses all around us, and what I can tell you is that this deep V hull really delivers. It turns unbelievably sharply, you get a lot of lean on the boat, but it's so nice and narrow and deep that it will cut through that chop very nicely. There's a fair bit of spray around. I'm not sure if that's because there's not a huge amount of flare on the bow or it's just the wind blowing it in, but it's a really agile, fun boat to drive. So it's not just about style, there's real substance to it too. This being an Italian boat, there are one or two little quirks, mostly to do with ergonomics. At my height of just about 6 foot, the windscreen frame is in your line of vision when you're sitting down. And the tint on the windscreen is so dark that you can barely see through it, certainly on a grey Solent day. It's alright in this kind of weather. There's not many places to store anything. I've tried to look for somewhere to put my little handheld VHF and there's no obvious place to put it. There's not really even a cup holder within reach of the helm position. But I guess you can just put that down to the charm. It's a hand-built boat. If you insist on something, they can probably find a way of incorporating that in the boat. But it's very much what you'd expect of an Italian sports boat. There's a lot of style, one or two little quirks. What's been really nice about testing the Comitti Breva 35 here in the UK is that it's given us a chance to test it in the kind of challenging conditions that we get here. We often wonder about some of these Italian lake boats. They look beautiful, but do they perform out in a challenging sea? And the answer is yes, it really does. That deep V hull works very nicely. It cuts through the chop beautifully. It carves a really tight turn, leans a long way over, but carries on gripping. And these twin 270 horsepower Mercruiser diesels give a very nice, gentle, quiet run at idle, and yet enough punch to give it a top speed of 38 knots out in the sea. So there's so much more to a boat than this. There are probably boats with more space on it. There's probably boats with better accommodation. But as a style statement, as well as something that works out in the chop. It really works. So it's a lot of money, but I can see why people are prepared to spend £300,000 to £400,000 to buy this kind of boat with this style and this substance.